start to put tension on my string drawback, I was like, okay, I'm gonna switch.
It's him. You can look at the horns when he's dead. I'm in the zone. Let the arrow go is perfect.
When they lose their front shoulders, that's how you know they're smoking.
Went about 5-10 more yards. He probably went 20 yards, a little tipped over, tried to get back up. I saw him pull up.
We rushed 4 meters rods that night. We got like 156 and something like that. And then the next day we came up to 163 even.
You're listening to the White Cat Outdoors podcast, bringing you to the table where we talk about the outdoors.
What's going on, guys? Episode 93, and this is the last episode that we're going to be talking about anything other than just
hunting camp.
Yeah, it's going to be deer camp series, or like Nick said, hunting camp, because we're going to have some other stuff we're talking about.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, my dad just got back from Alaska, so we're going to hit him up next week, talk about his trip, and it was a wild one, very wild. He's going to have some good stuff to talk about, and in a few weeks, me and Dad are going gator hunting, so we're going to have that to talk about when we get back. Yeah, Gator Camp series at the end of October.
Get a good look at his Peter ball.
I'm going to say that 100 times.
I would hope you do.
I probably will. So, yeah, it's going to be a great archery season, and we're going to have lots of deer kills going on, Alaska talk, gator talk, and you guys you're in for it for the next, 12, 15 weeks.
Till January.
I was thinking more like a week or two, because you guys were all going to shoot bucks opening day and just be done for the season.
Yeah, but we got
That's
friends.
the plan.
The guys that listen to this podcast are straight killers, so once we get our bucks in, we'll be talking to them about theirs. So,
Well, if they listen to our tips and tricks, they would get done opening week as well.
yeah, but we can't record all the podcasts first week.
Yeah,
This
we
is
can
true.
we can stretch them out and have them just banked up.
I mean, when you're listening to this, there's a good chance there's probably already going to be a deer down.
That's a fact.
So
Because we're going hunting this weekend, and by the time you're listening
I'll have
to
3 hunts in by the time this podcast drops.
me too.
So
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big stuff's coming down the pipe. So I hope you guys are ready.
That's New York, I'm assuming, correct?
And
who
PA.
is that new voice on? It sounds familiar,
So
but it's
some
been a
would
while.
think he's new because he hasn't been around in a while. Been a few weeks.
Who is that?
It's only been a couple.
But it's been a month.
I'd give it a
who
month.
is it?
I'd give it. It's Luke over here, guys. I mean, the people on the other end of the mic listening through the radio can't see me, but you all can.
Something tells me that this episode isn't going to be deer hunting.
Well, that's why you alluded to the. This is the last one that is not about deer hunting.
Yeah, if it was about deer hunting, I would have said
Get Luke out of here.
this is going to continue talking about deer hunting, and we're not doing that.
It's fishing, guys. That's what we're talking
That's
about.
what we're doing.
But Tom, speaking of fishing, what are you tying over there?
A slip knot.
How's it going?
Good, perfect.
Tom's just having
Speaking
fun
of
over there.
It's
Speaking
really
of Slipknot,
distracting
did you
over
guys
here.
see Machine Gun Kelly's beefing with Slipknot?
I heard about
What?
it. I didn't hear anything.
What is Slipknot doesn't do anything like
I don't
ever.
know.
Like how do
This
they
is
have
way
beef?
off topic, but Tom's talking Slipknots. But I saw this meme because you know how like when MGK beefed with Eminem, then he started singing rock.
Yeah.
Now he's
I
beefing with
wouldn't even call it rock.
Well,
Yeah, it's very, very
it's
light.
punk.
It's
It's
like Blink
punk.
182.
Yeah.
But anyway, he was singing like punk, whatever floats Tom's boat. And now he's beefing with Slipknot, so it's like wait for MGK's country album next week.
It's classic.
funny.
So,
It's classic Tammy.
but yeah, what were you getting into, Luke?
It's always
MGK.
fishing. MGK. So huge fisherman. MGK loves to get out on the water. No, I'm just kidding.
He lives there. He's from Cleveland, so right off the lake.
Really, he's from Cleveland.
Yeah, he is from Cleveland.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
should
so
take him
maybe
fishing.
He trolls walleye on Lake Erie.
He probably doesn't live in Cleveland anymore.
Yeah, but that's where his roots are, so you should take him
Probably
fishing.
like L.A. with Megan Fox or something.
Yeah, probably. But I love seeing those memes too.
Yeah.
People like talking like how MGK like wears pink or whatever, and it's like, well, he's with Megan Fox. So,
Yeah, I think he wins all arguments.
He can do whatever he wants.
yeah. But anyways, fishing. You were just talking about floating Tom's boat. The boat's getting pretty close to wrapping it up for the year. I didn't even get my little boat out once this year. I might still get it out for a little
Sounds like
bit
a
of
first world problem.
yeah, yeah.
Too many boats, can't take them all out.
Yeah. But a little bit of fall musky fishing. I might
Yeah,
get
the little
it out.
boat's great for that.
Oh, perfect. Absolutely perfect.
And I live on Burrow now, so you can just come down all the time.
Yeah, because I get invited all the time. Every time that I've been to your house, I've invited myself.
That's not true.
That is very true. It's factual. I've been there twice.
We're gonna talk about it later.
We will. Anyways, so Tom is really going to ham on that rope. That's why I need the camera, and we can start filming the
Tom's
podcast.
stupidity.
Yeah, so people can be just as distracted from the podcast as I am watching.
They're
Watching
probably
Tom.
like, why does Luke sound like such an idiot right now? And Tom's over here fucking around.
But anyways, the big boat, I'll probably wrap that up towards the end of November. I like to get that out and do a little bit of either cold water steelhead or even the lake trout come in, and like to try and target them. That's kind of a new hobby of mine is lake trout. I haven't, quite perfected that yet. I've only done it for, one season, so still a lot to learn in that aspect.
So when you're saying like with the steelhead, like cold water steelhead, are you talking about taking the boat like just before the mouths?
Yep. So like the steelhead obviously like cold water. So during the summer they're all, out in the trenches and deep in the lake and anywhere from, 80 to 130 feet of water. And so can be tricky to target, especially because they get spread out quite a bit. I mean, once they start to school up, or if you find, where a bunch of them are holding out, you can still get into them, but it's a lot of work. You need, specific gear for that. And
Do they fight pretty hard if you get a hold of steelhead like down in the trenches? Because like I know,
yeah, I mean,
it seems like the closer, I guess I'll say it backwards. The deeper they get into the streams, the less they seem to fight. I know
that's just because they're dying.
Yeah, that's
And they don't have any room to run.
I understand that, but what I'm getting at is like when we would go and catch steelhead with our fly rods, like right close to the mouth. I mean, they're jumping it out of the water and just, taking it almost into your backing. Some of them.
Yep.
I didn't know if like is that increased even like more once they're way out in the trenches,
So
just
like
because
if
they
you,
have the room.
Yeah, if you catch fish out in the lake, like I'll stand on shore and I'll cast spoons and stuff from shore for steelhead, and you hook into them and they shoot straight to Canada. Like they do not like that. So, and like Tom said, they have room. Like try and run 100-meter dash.
Back and forth across this room.
In your living room, yeah, you're gonna not get up to top speed very quick. So it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, when they start to run, end of August into the beginning to mid-September, they do what's called staging up, and they'll kind of group up and come in shallow and line up, in front of the mouths, and you can go and either bobber fish or, troll, or you can even cast center pin, fly fish, really whatever you want. But my main tactic is I'd go and, troll spoons in front of the mouths, and you can pick up, quite a few fish that way. But now that they're actually starting to push up into the creeks, fly fishing and center pin fishing is really what I'm going to be focusing on.
What temperature do they typically look for when they're pushing?
I'm not 100% honest. Like,
Why aren't
exactly.
you being
You a
100%
liar?
honest?
I am 100% honest. I'm not 100% positive, to be honest. But right around probably like that, like 68 degrees probably is. I'm not even sure what the lake's at right now.
So you get a few cold nights and they'll start getting
and
ready.
even when the surface temp will cool down, they'll start to push into the creek mouths, and then as soon as the sun comes out, they'll shoot back out into the lake. They're like, whoop, too early.
Too early.
Yep. And they'll shoot back out. So that's kind of coming into full swing here. And then
I've noticed a lack of dinner eating space at home the past few days. Like, what are you doing to prepare?
you're talking about the dinner table. Yeah. The fly tying table, if you will.
It's not a dinner table
Luke,
this time
for
of year.
the past probably 2 weeks ish.
2 weeks.
Like Luke has said, it's no longer a dinner table or a dining room. Luke has turned it to the fly tying station.
I like to call it tie flying. It really upsets people.
It's kind of like when you call turkeys instead of turkey call.
Yeah.
It's fun to do those little things that people are like, what are you saying? But you know.
Yeah, they know. But, so I've been tying some flies. I'm nowhere near an expert or, a teacher, master, tie flyer by any means, but I do enjoy, catching fish on stuff that I've made, rabbit fur. Actually, Dan Kowalski got me a little pack of elk hair, so I've put that on a couple flies. And
I know where there's a dead deer on the side of the road that you could steal some deer hair off of.
Yeah, I was gonna actually stop by the fender of your truck and pull some out of
There's
there
a little
as
bit
well.
there. Yep.
Yeah. So you're just a week early on the deer. You just couldn't
That's
wait
why
to
I
get
did it
one,
with
huh?
my truck
Yeah.
instead of a bow.
Yeah, because it's legal with the truck. Just costs a lot more. Yep.
Anyway,
So yeah, it's just it's kind of something that I started doing. Like I said, I'm not super big into it, but maybe 2 years ago, and just enjoy the satisfaction of tricking a fish into thinking that something you tied out of some animal fur.
Stupid.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's kind of like art. I know the art of fly tying is like a big thing you'll hear, and it kind of is to a point. But I'm just kind of slamming stuff together, and I make egg patterns. So those are super simple. You can go buy some like artificial yarn, and there's endless brands that make it.
Why wouldn't you use real yarn?
Yeah. Artificial egg material, which is yarn. Yeah.
Nick had an aha moment right there, like, I'm so stupid.
I'm just trying to. I'm like, what the hell's the
You're as
difference
dumb as the
between-
fish.
Yeah, I would have tricked me.
Yeah. So
As you can tell, Nick doesn't spend much time on the streams.
it looks like an egg, but it's artificial. It's yarn. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't tie it with real eggs.
You ever run into one of them guys that says they don't deer hunt anymore because they, killed a monster buck and there was just nothing else, nothing else for them. Like I feel that way about steelhead fishing, like with a fly rod. Like I caught a couple steelhead and it was enough for me to be like, yeah, I mean, I've caught a few with my fly rod.
Never need to do it
Yeah,
again.
I'm content. It's not. I enjoyed it. It was a great time.
So you're talking about this past tense. You enjoyed it. It was a great time. You have a very nice sage setup, just collecting dust in the barn. That
Sounds like it's yours now, Luke.
Some buffoon, who we won't mention his name, decided to put like 4 inches of backing on it and leave the tag on it because that's just the kind of guy he is. Anyways, yeah, what's that rod doing? You trying to get rid of that?
It gets brought out maybe once a year.
It didn't get brought out the last year, or probably
No,
the
it did the year before, and last year it got brought out, but not for steelhead.
Just catching bluegills in the pond.
Panfish, exactly what it was.
So how about it's my rod, and I'll just let you borrow it whenever you need.
It sounds like what you do with it, anyways.
I've never used your
Yes,
rod.
you have.
I've never used your sage rod. I asked to take it to.
I don't have a sage rod. Just
or
a
a sage reel.
Who's this guy?
I asked to take it to New York and and he said, yeah, sure, whatever. And I went to put it in my truck and saw that there was like 20 feet of backing on
No,
it.
there's 50 yards backing.
Not even close to enough.
Yeah,
For
it's set up
steelhead
for-
around
it's-
here, yeah,
it's-
that's fine.
Why would I? Yeah, that's
But-
like, yeah, I only use a 450 Bushmaster for whitetail. Like, it's not really necessary.
It kind of seems like what Tommy does. Tom's a little overkill.
If Tom had a 450 Bushmaster, he would.
He would use it.
What are you shooting now, Tom?
325 short mag.
How's it do?
Just enough.
Knocks him right down.
It's like the 457 government or something. There's another one.
4570 government.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've used
big
that.
boy.
I haven't killed a deer with it, but I've walked around the woods with it.
Did you miss a deer with it?
Moving on.
Yep. We're not talking anymore.
Yeah,
Back to
not talking.
fishing.
We're
We're
talking about fishing,
We're not
guys.
talking deer hunting. This is the
Yeah.
last episode
You're
where we don't talk
stupid.
about it.
So dumb.
So, why are we talking about it? I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's got water in my face.
Smoking something.
So I'll
smoke
hard
a beer.
transition here because you mentioned it quickly at the beginning and we just kind of brushed over it.
Lake trout.
No.
Oh,
I don't
we'll
give a shit
get
about
back
lake
to that.
trout.
I
No, I'm just kidding.
I love them.
No, you said fall muskie.
Yep.
And
Big time.
Muskie is something I've never targeted, never caught, but I think they're cool as hell. And I think bigger's always better. And
One of the
almost
coolest freshwater fish.
I mean,
The
coolest.
no
And
sturgeon.
almost,
Sturgeon
especially
are
with like
pretty sweet.
I'm gonna sit down.
hunting,
Common
fishing,
carp.
bigger is better. So
Bigger is better
so
in almost all aspects.
All right.
back to the muskie. So talk about it a little bit. I know you have got yourself into what it's like the Husky Muskie Club, if you will.
Yeah, prestigious club. I never even knew that was a thing until somebody told me, like, oh, you're in the Husky Muskie. I'm like, huh? But
It's kind of like a squirrel slam.
yeah.
Did you get it officially scored?
Nope. It is actually, and I'm proud to admit this, it is alive and well and swimming back
man.
in the water.
You're the man.
So could have threw it up on the wall, but just not the
You
kind of
still
guy I
could.
am. Yeah, I could do a replica mount of it.
I'm not into replica mounts of
Yeah,
fish. They just
they don't
I
look
mean,
right. It kind of looks like wax.
even if
and-
like the best replica fish, still you look at it and you're like, that's a replica.
Yep.
Like, you can tell.
And it's kind of like, would you
You'd
get a
almost have to
replica
catch
made
that-
of a deer you shot? Like get fake antlers? No.
Some people do. I think they can do replica antlers better than they can do replica
they can
fish.
do replica antlers. You can't even tell the difference.
If you ever go to like a hunting expo, go to the Deer Society's
Like
booth.
Cabela's.
Well, yeah, Cabela, they're all remakes, but the Deer Society, all of their bucks on display are reproductions.
You can't tell. So they're much better at that than fish. They should take some notes.
The deer, they actually did kill the deer. I'm just
Yeah.
But they have reproductions to put on display.
Gotcha.
But I mean, but to take a 50+ inch muskie and put it on your stringer, I don't know where you could do that without somebody trying to fight you.
Yeah, people literally would fight you.
Yeah, that'd be bad news. I've actually watched fights break out with Amish people because they've had
They don't give a shit.
Well, they've had 4 muskie on their stringer and people.
Is that the limit?
one?
Oh,
One is the limit.
okay. I didn't.
One,
See, I didn't know.
One at 40 inches. They'd
Yeah.
have 4 at like
30.
like 27 inches.
I mean, Amish just don't. They're like the honey badger.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Honey badgers don't care. Just take what he wants. But yeah, I've watched Amish people fill up like a 5-gallon bucket with like 5-inch crappie and bluegill. I'm like, what do you do with that? There's literally no meat. on
Throw
there.
it in our driveway when they're done with it.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
That's exactly what they do with it.
Frank, you're gonna have to get a new stool. These ones are starting to creak.
Yeah, they are a little
That was
bit.
weird. But anyways, muskie fishing, it's another one of those things like that. I wouldn't say I'm an expert on any specific type of fishing. Like
we aren't experts with deer hunting, but we enjoy it and do
You
it
can
well.
pretend. We pretend
Tell you
every
what,
week.
yeah,
I
but
can
you guys
It's a
pan
fictional
fish,
podcast.
Fish. Is that how you
pan
call
fish
it? Pan fish.
That's like a Mr. Smirker, like a
football
football ball game.
That's
That was
Santos.
Santos.
Or Santos, yeah.
I can catch panfish. with the
Smirker just
best of
played
them.
Blurred Lines on repeat on his little boom box. But anyways, muskie fishing. I'm nowhere near, an expert. There's guys that'll, fish circles around me in pretty much any species. But what I do kind of like to take pride in is that I am very well-rounded and diverse. I can go to the ocean and surf fish. Fish from shore and, catch, snook and drums and
Black
shark
tips.
and everything. And I can go out on a boat, in the ocean and do the same thing. Go into the, little slips and whatever, freshwater. I can go pond fishing. I can bank fish from lakes. I can go out on inland lakes on the boat, target whatever, creek fish, So I'm very well rounded. So when it comes to, muskie fishing, not an expert, but I can still, make it work. So in the fall is they start, getting all fat and sassy for winter time and start pairing up and whatnot. So if you want to catch your, big trophy muskie, a real thick fish, it's going to be, October, November is, really when you're going to catch them trophies.
Where exactly are you? I guess not where exactly, but what types of bodies of water are you targeting these fish in?
So I fish a little bit of everything. So even local lakes, everyone knows Edinburgh, Chautauqua, Lake LaBeouf. Lake LaBeouf's a tricky one. There's, way too many predators in there. You catch, 20 pike and walleye to one, muskie. But
Yeah, it's tough to weed through all of them.
yeah, I'll fish
Isn't-
French Creek.
Isn't there a little fun fact about LaBeouf with tiger muskies or something?
Yeah.
So
I don't know,
you probably know it better than I do, so that's why I wanted to bring
Yeah,
it up.
so tiger muskie is basically when a northern pike and a muskie breed, and they're actually sterile. So they can't reproduce, so they're actually pretty rare because you can only get them one offspring, and then they can't reproduce and make more of themselves. So
They stock them a lot of places.
yeah, they've stocked tiger muskie, but Lake LaBeouf is actually a lake where they have naturally occurring tiger muskie. So
One of the very few, if not
the only in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
that has
So
naturally
is it
occurring tiger muskie.
because they have pike and muskie in the same waters?
Yep.
Like
Edinburgh Lake, there's only muskie in Edinburgh.
there's no pike.
No pike. There's not a single pike in Edinburgh unless somebody put one in there.
Yeah.
But
But
so
even places where they do have pike and muskie,
they rarely ever breed.
yeah, it's not a common thing at all.
No,
Must be something in the water.
Is there a lot of muskie in Presque Isle?
yeah. I wouldn't say a lot. The biggest muskie I've ever seen, didn't hook into it, but seen in the water was actually in Presque Isle. I'm not going to obviously say exactly where, but there was real tall weeds.
Why?
And
Just tell us where.
I was reeling in and I thought I saw a flash, and I went to just start my figure eight and just saw this giant head come out, and I made one loop and it followed and tailed away and never saw him again. But it was the biggest freshwater fish I have ever seen in person.
60?
72. No. It was over 50, but yeah, more. But
That's a hilarious.
it
video.
was, yeah, it's a good one. But it was just super, super thick, real wide. And there's different types of muskie. There's, striped muskie, spotted muskie, clear muskie. So like the clear muskies are kind of, look white, and they don't really have any stripes or spots or anything. They might have a little bit of spotting on the tail and whatnot, but all their fins are red. So like they're really, really cool looking fish. And that's what this one was that I saw. So pretty unique, but I also, people call it cheating, and I even call it cheating myself, but I'll go to outflows and spillways and, musky fish in those just because the density
It's
of
much
fish
easier.
density of fish is just so high, and I'm not, like I said, an expert, so I can't go anywhere and, just go bang, musky all day. Some people claim to do that. Whether it's true or not, I don't know.
But I wouldn't call that cheating either. I mean, you're just putting yourself in the best opportunity. If you're trying to kill a bigger than average whitetail or something, you're probably going to go to the Midwest. It's not cheating to go to the Midwest to kill bigger whitetail. It's just because
it's more going on a high fence hunt, because the whitetail can't go anywhere because they're in a fence. These muskie, they're in a area, no more than
okay, so it's a little bit different than what I realized.
Yeah, no more than 20 or 30 yards wide.
I retract my statement. You're a cheater.
Yeah. I mean, you still like high fence hunts. You're, I don't want to say guaranteed, but pretty much guaranteed.
You pay per inch.
Yeah, and that's kind of fishing spillways. Is you go there and you're gonna at least have half a dozen hookups before you head out. So, or more.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's cool that you're not afraid to admit that you go to those places, because I know that there's in the whitetail world, it just happened where a guy killed
that was a huge story.
Killed a monster buck, said that he killed it on his own farm, and then it didn't take long for a deer farm to be like, that's bullshit, that he paid money, came to our farm and killed that.
Yeah.
So like, what I guess from getting at is like, you're not afraid to just tell people where you're.
Oh no,
like,
people.
The story that I heard on that is that deer escaped.
No, you're
was-
thinking
that
of a
was
different
just-
deer.
No,
They-
that was the same deer.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I guarantee you it's not. Unless you're thinking of the wrong one. There was two deer that came out at the same time. There was a younger kid
Yes.
that killed. Yes, so
That
that one
was the one
escaped. It
Yes.
escaped.
Okay, that's the
10
one I'm
miles
thinking of.
away. He killed it.
So that technically that's a legal kill.
It's
legal,
legal, but it's
it won't-
not. You can't put it in a record.
Yeah, and no, but that kid totally 100% owned
Yeah,
up to it.
he
was
said
the-
right away that the
he saw it
people
cutting its ear, and he started to call around
Yeah.
to figure it out. There was another deer that was killed that the guy claimed, a totally different deer, not older gentleman, but guy in his like probably late 30s that killed it on a farm, like deer farm.
Yeah.
Tried saying it was on his own.
Why would you
property.
even try to lie? Like, you can't hide that.
No, especially because a farm raised deer is very obvious.
yeah.
That that big muskie that I caught was at a spillway, so I don't really take any shame in that. I've actually also caught many muskie, not my biggest one, but many very nice muskie on live bait. And people, get all upset
Yeah, a lot
about
of people get tweets
using
about
live
that.
bait. It's all artificial, but I'll tell you what, live bait is a lot of fun.
It is great.
Way more action. But yeah, you can go and toss anything out there, and within 20 minutes you're hooked up on a fish. But yeah, so if anybody wants to go out and catch their trophy muskie, from now till ice on is really going to be your best shot at catching the big one. Tom is still messing with his string, by the way. If anybody was wondering, he's still going hard.
Nick's not thrilled, but we're having fun.
Is that a hoisting rope?
It's paracord. It was a bracelet that I cut apart to make a string to hold up a European mount.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
The
All
one
the
right
way in
above your
Europe.
head. Yeah.
So that mount is being held above my head by a piece of paracord?
Mm-hmm.
I know people that hang their sticks with like climbing stick with paracord.
I know people that parachute with paracord. It's pretty wild.
Do you really know that?
It's a rumor. I think that's why they call it paracord.
No, you didn't.
Read it on BuzzFeed.
No.
This
No,
guy
I
I know.
No, we didn't.
No, I didn't.
You
Imagine
can
what it'd be like
imagine.
if they did, huh? But, so anyways, yeah. Get out on them streams. I mean, hey, don't take any shame in it. Go to a spillway if you want to catch your, if you never caught a muskie before. One of my buddies, Bailey, never caught a muskie, never really fished for him a whole lot. He would every once in a while, but always got skunked. And so I was like, dude, if you want to catch a muskie, I'll catch you a muskie. And we landed 3 muskie and had like 7 hookups, the first time I ever took him out. So, yeah,
It's a good way to get the bug for muskie.
yeah, it was at a spillway, but guess what? He had a blast, loved it. We caught some big fish, and like Nick said, it's just cool to get your hands on the pretty much top predator. I would say the top predator,
In
in
our
any
area.
body of water around here. Yeah,
Unless I'm swimming in there.
yeah, probably not. I don't know. Northerns might be the top predator. Northerns, they don't get
They
as
just
big,
eat everything.
but they are aggressive.
Yeah.
Like they will eat fish bigger than themselves.
Yeah, they don't play games.
So, but anyways, back to we kind of
We've been all
jumped back
over
and
the
forth. Yeah, but let's get a little bit of structure here. If you're having a hard time following, I know this isn't the easiest podcast to follow here.
It's supposed to feel like you're just at camp anyways. And
Yep.
if anybody's been to camp before,
They know,
the
Lots of
table's
drunk
all
conversations.
It's all over the place.
but just to give a little bit of structure to this podcast, we'll focus on, we were talking about fly tying and steelhead fishing a little bit. And so if you never did it or want to get into it, or you salmon fish, brown trout, steelhead, whatever it is, and you either buy flies at a store for anywhere from $1.50 to $4.50 a piece, and it's breaking the bank, or right now you're fishing with bait, either skein, salmon eggs, worms, whatever it is. If you want to get into fly tying, really you could get yourself a pretty basic setup, a vise, all the tools you need, some scissors, and everything for, I would say, under $100. You could get everything you need to get going and start tying flies. Probably even cheaper. I bet if you went on Amazon, you could probably find like a $49.99 fly tying kit or something. But I mean, you can also go the other way with that and buy an $800 vise.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do, really.
It's gonna make a lot of flies to come up with that money.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna get on the topic of what I want to say, but anyways, right now is no better time to either start tying those flies or to get out and start doing some steelhead fishing. Around here, it's been real tough just with the demand for it. Just so many people started doing it, and I noticed with COVID and quarantine and everything.
The fish are getting COVID, huh?
Yeah, yep.
It's that bad.
Yep. So many people started fishing because they just picked up a hobby because they either were sitting around or didn't have to work, or people are always. Anytime you ask somebody who doesn't fish, they've always, I've always wanted to get into it. Is what everybody says. Hey, do you fish? No, but I'd really like to. And COVID was the perfect excuse for all of those people to get
Start
into
doing it.
Yeah. So
Before we get too far off of tying flies, most of the people that listen to us are like most of us sitting here, that it's not just fishing that they're into. They also enjoy hunting. And while we're talking about tying flies, what sort of furs or even feathers can people be using to tie flies? So like if they're into deer
Anything.
hunt, okay, so
absolutely anything. If you wanted to tie with
Tom's piece of string.
Yeah. Yes, you could.
like
I
turkey,
use,
like turkey feathers,
you could
pheasant,
use, turkey
deer.
feathers. Actually, I've never tied with turkey feathers, but if you think about it, they got kind of that iridescent look on them, that real shine. I mean, whatever you're trying to, imitate, if you like brown, basically, all your mammals basically are brown. You know, if you want elk, whitetail, you want to go to like your squirrels or minks or even raccoons, literally anything.
Deer have white hair as well.
Yeah. So
Squirrels gray and reds.
a big thing too. So color, and you can even dye hair. So if you want, pink, okay, we'll get some deer hair and dye it pink. You can get like dyed deer tails. Tails are a big one just because they have a little bit longer hair on their tails. But really, the main thing is kind of the texture of it. So if you want real stiff hair, elk or a whitetail might be good because their hair kind of sticks straight out. But if you went, something more towards like a rabbit, like a long-haired rabbit, where it has like real fine, flowy hair, when that gets in the water, it kind of, gets all wavy. So whatever you're trying to...
So basically any game that you're targeting in the woods, you could use the fur or the feathers and make your own flies with them.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and that's what I was saying, like how I think it's cool just
So you're
to be
really
able to...
saving money now.
Yeah, just how I think it's cool to be able to trick, a fish into something that I tied. I mean, take it to the next level and trick a fish into something that you tied with something you killed, So that'd be full cycle there. Or circle.
Actually,
No
I know
corners.
I know one of my old. I may have said this on here before, but I had an old welding professor who used to have a purple ponytail, and when he decided to cut it off, he cut it off with his purple hair and he put it in a Ziploc, and it's out in the garage, and he uses it in his fly tying. So
I have tied a fly with my own hair. Didn't catch anything on it. It was kind of one of those.
probably because it wasn't purple.
Probably. Yeah, it was kind of one of those things like, it was just, this would be funny, and made it fly and it looked like garbage. So threw it for a little bit and was like, yep, I'm done. So,
Trash.
yep.
But that was just a neat
Yeah.
point I wanted to bring up, that you could use, deer, turkey,
Yeah, you
squirrels,
can use
rabbits,
feathers, fur.
moles,
Yeah, literally.
fish scales.
Yeah, that'd be a little bit trickier, but you could probably figure out a way.
You could be onto something there.
Yeah, maybe.
Probably not though.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe
but,
use like little fly wings.
I mean, you could say, really, if you wanted to use fish scales, if you really had like just some random urge, catch a carp or something, they got a pretty big
Monster
scale.
That's
Yeah,
a
you
good
could
idea.
cut them up with that actually might make good like wing material. Like if you're trying to do like a mayfly or a dragonfly or
Better
something.
patent that before.
The fly wouldn't last long. It'd probably fall apart pretty quick.
Why?
The scale? 'Cause
Yeah.
They dry out, and if you get them
Yeah.
wet, dry, they'd start cracking.
Maybe if
and
you
falling apart.
could seal it or something with nail polish.
Yeah, they pretty much have it. It's like glue, but yeah, you could coat them.
You're
Now
to
we're
patent
thinking.
that.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think I'm ever gonna try it. But
Hey,
anyways, right now, I'm actually, like Nick said, have the table, pretty much taken over right now with flying ties. Yeah. And
I don't even think you meant to say it.
not that time.
you like stumbled over it. And
Well, I
then
said flying, and
we're
I was
here
like,
this
you know
far."
what?
We're
Flying
rolling
ties.
with it.
Yep, I just talked about it earlier. But Tom's, flying that string around, and he's got me all confuzzled.
All flustered.
But I'm, stocking my egg box right now with a ton of different colors, varieties, some mixes, different styles, different sizes, just for the different, times of year and water conditions. Either the eggs will look different, from now till, end of November. The consistency of the egg, the color of the egg, the size of the eggs, all depend, and also the watercolor that you're fishing, whether it's real chocolatey or gin clear or whatever, different color eggs that you'd want to use. So I'm working on that right now, and I'm also filling the box with a bunch of streamers. So I got, a bunch of white streamers, green, purple, brown, a little bit of everything. So getting ready to probably take a trip up to New York and do some salmon fishing. So egg patterns for salmon, pretty good there. And also there's going to be steelhead and trout and stuff mixed in with them. So that'll be pretty fun. But as for around here, just basically all steelhead. Every once in a while you'll luck into that brown trout, but not very often. But
it sounds like you're about done there.
yeah, I mean, as far as, just getting out there, I mean, I've gone out once this year so far, or twice so far. Once I went from shore. I took my buddy Ryan out, and we went off of the Walnut Pier, and actually using the flies that I tied, did a tandem rig together, so there was kind of an articulated fly, and was casting that out, and hooked into a nice steelhead, and Ryan brought it in for us and netted it up, took a quick picture, and put it back on its way. And then we went out fly fishing to, some various waters with
undisclosed locations.
Yeah, with some fish in them, and there's quite a few fish pulled in out of there. So
right on.
It's a little early, like I said, with COVID and social media. It really, really, put a hurting on secret spots and unknown waters, because as soon
I think
as
that's people's own fault. I mean, quit telling people about your secret spots if you don't trust them.
Well,
it's
people
not,
just had a ton of time to go find them.
Yeah, it's not even just telling somebody. Now it's, somebody asks, hey, are there fish in the streams? And one guy posts a picture of a steelhead in Erie, and half of Pittsburgh and West Virginia are now in Erie steelhead fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You used to not get a single out-of-towner until, beginning of October, mid-October. Now we had them in, all through September. Yeah, you used to have September and October to fish before anybody really started coming up, and now it's as soon as that first fish runs in, you got guys shoulder to shoulder fighting over it. It's crazy.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you coming on, joining us, telling a little bit of fishing stories. I know we're about to get real busy with deer. You're about to get real busy on the streams.
Yeah, I feel like you're going to have to do something real crazy to get back on with the fish camp series, because there's going to be so many monster bucks going down. We're just not going to have time for you, Luke.
I'm planning on putting, I'm not going to say this year because it's already, pretty much October, so I only have 3 months, but not a calendar year, but what is the other type of year?
Chinese
Fiscal?
year?
Yeah, just a physical year. Like
fiscal.
Tom said fiscal.
Fiscal? Is that actually what it is?
I don't even
That's
think
a
Tom knows what
financial
that
term.
means.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But
A
360
running year?
Yeah, maybe 365 days from now, I would like to have at least 2 fish on the wall. My goal is 3, but I want to have at least one of those species be in the trout family, one in the salmon family, and then, some other.
Something else.
Yep.
Catfish.
I wouldn't be opposed to mounting a catfish.
Yeah, a cat wouldn't be bad.
I don't think I've ever, except for sports stores, I don't think I've ever seen a catfish.
Usually the only time you see catfish mounted is record blue cats or, monster cats, like a 100-pound cat.
Yeah. We just went fishing with my buddy Jacob Oliver the other day, and he caught a slammer flathead.
Yeah.
I would probably, I wouldn't have put it on. I caught one probably a little bit smaller than the one he just caught, but I'd probably have to break that, 50 pounds to put a flathead up on the wall. But we were close. We definitely didn't hit 50, but it was definitely the closest we've been,
Right on.
So.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Well, for everybody listening, if you guys are big into hunting, good luck with your hunting. If you guys are big into fishing, good luck with that.
And I just maybe just
I
throw
had the perfect
I
ending.
know, but
and
you can
frigged it up.
you can
ruined
start
it.
it over. But it has been heavily weighing on me for myself to get outside into them deer hunting woods and because I don't normally do that because I'm always
You're
fishing.
gonna do it?
I said it's been heavily weighing on me.
Yeah,
the
because
thought of
I've
it.
been
You're one of those
telling him,
guys
Nick-
that have always been
Nick
wanting to
doesn't
get
wanna shoot
into
his
it.
bow.
Yeah. No, not really. Everything about hunting I don't really enjoy. The sitting still, I'm not really good at that.
sit in the saddle. You swing around all day.
Yeah, I like to fidget and move around, being quiet. I like to talk a lot. Waking up early.
All bad.
I do for fishing, but it's because I'm excited about it. For hunting, it's just not super exciting.
Big evening hunt guy.
Yeah. Dragging deer, done that. Don't really like it. Cleaning deer, not really a fan. Processing, not really a huge fan, but I'm surrounded by it, by literally everybody in my life hunts. So it's just kind of one of those things where like, it's like peer pressure, you know?
Yeah.
So
Everybody's doing it.
So may or may not in this hunting camp series,
Hear from old Luke.
Maybe Luke gets
maybe
his
I'll
first
splash
deer.
back on and just be that guy who goes out one time, shoots a slammer, like Nick said, and he's like, well, I already did it, so I don't need to hunt anymore.
I hope that happens.
I'll be that guy.
I hope it happens.
So shoot one buck.
We will refer back to episode 93 when you called it out that you're doing it. So.
Yep. Okay.
Perfect. So
Nick, could you please give us your
Nick, start
money
over.
ending?
Start from the top.
it's not going to be as good.
No,
but
just go for it.
No, I mean, I wanted to say good luck to all the hunters out there that our seasons are starting it up. And if you're fishing, same thing. If you're a new hunter, good luck to you guys. But whatever you guys are doing this fall, just make sure you're getting outside.